We've got enough, we got more than in cats.
What's that, Riley?
They named the trail.
Good morning. We'll open the January meeting of the loan committee of the CEDC. We'll start out with the approval of the minutes. Everybody had a chance?
Motion approved.
Second.
None objected, so we had a motion and seconded, all approved,
Aye.
passed. We'll move on to the portfolio dashboard.
Okay, thank you, Jen. I don't think there's anybody new on this report. Loan client A has been on here for a number of months, and I'm happy to report that they did send a $2,000 check that we received on Friday. They're still delinquent, but that total is now $2,000 less. Loan client B is in arrears. They, sent a payment, but they're still behind. We're in touch with them, hoping they'll be able to catch up. Loan client C, we are in touch with as well. They're in arrears. They're trying to do a workout with the bank, and they're keeping us apprised. And loan client D, Steve and I are in touch with. He's been making double payments to one loan and no payments on the other loan, and we're trying to get him to straighten that out in our loan client portal. We can't do it for him, but I think he's under the impression that everything is moving along as it should, and in fact, it's not. So we're still trying to work that out. Are there any questions?
No questions? Entertain a motion to approve. Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All approved. Okay, moving on to number 3, the Reclaiming Fitness LLC loan request.
Okay, this is Reclaiming Fitness LLC, located in Catskill. They are a personal training and massage therapy studio. Her request of us was a $12,000 SBA microloan with a 48-month term, that monthly payment being $291.55. The interest rate of 7.75%. Purpose of the loan, an equipment purchase with some working capital, and our collateral being the lien on business assets and the personal guarantee of the principal. That's Reclaiming Fitness there at Catskill. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes. How many SBA loans will that make in Reed County?
I think that'll bring us to 5.
I was gonna say fewer than half a dozen.
Still looking.
Yeah.
So I have a comment here. I referred Lindsay over, I've known her for 10 or 15 years. She's great, and she called me for a loan, and I said, look, I could probably do this, but I'm like, I think what you need starting out is something like CEDC, so I referred her over. When I got the loan package, I sent her a text to say, how was the process, how'd it go? She had the most amazing things to say about CEDC and Martha and Steve, so great testimony. If you make a referral, they're in good hands.
Thank you. Anything further?
Motion approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. On to the risk rating review.
It's something we have to do quarterly for the auditors and for our own internal process. And Martha and Steve developed a ratings plan, and it basically enables us to make sure that the loan loss allowance that we maintain on our books has some relevance to what the risk of the loan portfolio is. Martha?
That's right. The initial rating when we make a loan is generally 3. And, until we have some history with the client, we just leave it as a 3. 1 is the highest, and you can see we have a handful at the very beginning. Those have a risk rating of 1. Generally, their principal balance is very low, and they've been paying regularly for years. We have quite a few that have a risk rating of 2. Once again, we have a strong history. I think the majority of them are still in the category 3. When they get above 3, and this is all outlined in our loan policy manual. 4, they've had some late payments, or we're aware of some difficulties because we've spoken to the client, or we know that we're in second position, for example, on the collateral. We have a couple that fall into the category of 5. They are on the portfolio dashboard. And then, number 7, we have one that has a risk rating of 7. We feel like that's a great risk, although we did receive a check on Friday, as I mentioned. To the best of our knowledge, that check will clear. Kat will keep us apprised. And we have one that's falling into the category of 8, which really means that we have to have 100% of that money set aside because we do not know. We do believe we're going to be able to collect on that loan, but we don't know when. And we don't know if it will be the full amount.
Okay. Any questions? We'll have to approve that, right?
I don't think it requires approval, but we do need to show that we reviewed it with the committee. Yeah.
Okay.
The finance committee met and you'll recall that the full board authorized up to $30,000 to be allocated from 2024 net income to increase the amount that we have in the loan loss reserve account. Based on, we're about $60,000 to the good this year, so they're recommending to the full board that we only do 25,000. And that will bring us well within the $3,000 or $4,000 that we wrote off in 2024, and a good chunk if we have to write down the loan that Martha just mentioned. So again, with the SBA portfolio, we actually have to put 15% of the loans, of the value of the amount we owe the SBA in a lockbox. So there's cash for the SBA loans. And we're up to about 21% of what we owe the SBA because, as you know, we don't take that money out. We leave it there so that the next time we draw down from the SBA, we have the money to create the security rather than having to take it out of general operating cash. So I just wanted to update the committee on that increase in the loan loss reserve based on the finance committee's review.
Okay. So we'll move along to the 2024 loan committee discharge duties.
We take these obligations freely.
Somebody's supposed to. Martha.
Oh, do we want to go over these one by one?
You can, it's a review of what you've done in the past year.
Oh,
You're required to do it.
Yeah, we updated all of
You
this.
did all of it, I took it.
So does she have to go each one, Andy?
No,
No, you just need to approve it, review it and approve it.
Anybody got any questions on it? I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Motion made and approved, made and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, we do want to thank the committee and the full board for your oversight of the loan program. As you know, it's one of the crown jewels in the CEDC portfolio. This year we did over 42 loans. And the ability to bring them to this committee to get your input and guidance, and then to where required, taking them to the full board is an important part of being able to do those loans. And we want to thank you all for your support and engagement and ongoing oversight. So thank you.
Thank you.
And even though we did approximately the same number of loans as the previous year, the dollar amount was slightly less. We've been making smaller loans, which
It's good.
we like, yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and certainly the committee can't do anything without Martha and Steve, so we want to thank them as well.
Yep.
And that 40-ish number in terms of the loan account is right in the sweet spot, Steve, that you identified for evergreen funding. And what would you anticipate for this year? Do you have any sense at this early?
I would expect we would be comparable numbers.
I do too.
You know, looking at what we think will come into February, who we've already been contacted.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can see from the balance sheet how quickly the money comes back in as fast as we can get it out. And it's the work that Steve has done has really been able to give us a target as to how much we do need to loan, as opposed to dealing with it as it comes in the door and, making some strategic decisions as to how the economy starts to shift. Maybe we want to pull back, but, having that data, recognizing that it's more appropriate to the CEDC loan portfolio because the evergreen characteristics of the SBA loan portfolio depends on the ability for them to give us future tranches. And I think I mentioned at either the finance committee or executive committee meeting that we are watching closely what the government under the new administration will do as it relates to micro lending.
There's nobody on. Anybody else have anything else? Entertain the motion for adjournment.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded for adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.